Let's feed our heads. Sartre's work is notoriously difficult to read. But unlike the other major existentialist writer of the 20th century, Martin Heidegger, Sartre was capable of writing clearly and simply. And perhaps the most simple and clear explication of his philosophy was in a public lecture that he gave in 1946 called Existentialism is a Humanism. In that lecture, he contrasts people with letter openers. Yes, young people. People used to send letters to one another in the post, by the post, and when they would receive them, they would open them with letter openers. A very dainty sort of process. Okay, Sartre says, guess what? People are different from letter openers. Letter openers, he says, start with a purpose in the mind of the designer. That is, their essence precedes their existence. And people, Sartre says, are exactly the other way around. They exist, they are born, they wake up, boom, here is this consciousness, and their existence precedes their essence, their purpose. In fact, Sartre was an atheist, and he believed that we were born without any particular purpose. We came into existence, and then we had to figure out what we are about. And it was entirely up to us. So for things like letter openers, their essence, their purpose precedes their existence. For people, their existence precedes their essence. There you are. You wake up, but at your core, there's no preset self-definition or purpose. Instead, there's that nothingness that is mentioned in the title of his book, Being a Nothingness. You want to be something, to have a purpose, but because you are this nothingness at the core, you are free to think or do or be literally anything. You are so free, Sartre says, that you are a freedom. In this respect, you are very different from stuff in the world. In Being a Nothingness, Sartre cleaves the world into the being of things like books and car keys, which he calls being in itself, être en soi, and the being of people, which he calls being for itself, être pour soi. His basis for this distinction is the good old-fashioned Aristotelian theory of natural kinds, by which you characterize things, you classify them according to their properties. According to this theory, things have essential or defining qualities and non-essential or contingent ones. If it quacks like a duck and has webbed feet and is living and all of that, all those things that are essential to duckiness, then it's a duck. Okay. All right. But people don't have these essential defining qualities. So they have this freedom that is absolute, according to Sartre. So, for example, we know we have this freedom because we can make choices, and we're not contingent upon external forces. If I want to dance the tango, you can restrain my body. But if I want to dance the tango in my mind, nothing you can do can interfere with that, short of interfering with my consciousness. As long as I am conscious, I am this free being who can make this decision to dance the tango in my mind. So, my consciousness is different. My being, my kind of being, is different from the kind of being of a thing. All right. Suppose Sartre says you're having a really bad day. No matter how bad it is, you can choose how you are going to react to it. Let me give you an example of my own. You're late to work. Your boss is sick of this and cans you. You put your things in a box and you call an Uber to take you home. Or you want to call an Uber, but you can't find your phone. And oh my God, you have your entire life on this phone. You find your phone. And on it is a email from the IRS. You're being audited. They think that you owe $10,000 to them because of an error that was made in a previous tax form. Here's the thing. Despite the fact that you just lost your job and you're being audited, you could choose at that moment to feel joy. Joy. Sartre's pal Albert Camus put it this way in his book, The Myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus is condemned by the gods to Tartarus, where he must forever roll a boulder up a hill. Now, while he's pushing the boulder, all he's thinking about is that boulder. It takes everything in him to get it up to the top of the hill. But Camus says, at that moment, when he's standing at the top of the hill, before the boulder rolls back down and he has to go push it back up again, Sisyphus could choose to be blissful, to feel absolute, utter joy. He's free to do that because he's non-contingent. Consciousness, our kind of being, is non-contingent. Okay. That's pretty cool. In fact, it's one of the most important things that I know. I know in the sense of know it intellectually, and know in the sense that I feel it. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head that's more important is that I know is that we need to feel love and gratitude toward those around us. Okay, so we have this freedom, and the freedom. Sartre gets this so wrong. And so does Camus, and so did a lot of these mid-20th century existentialists. They think that this freedom is paralyzing because there's no reason to do any particular thing, and it makes our lives meaningless and absurd. In other words, according to Sartre, this freedom has a price. Because you are essentially free, there's no reason whatsoever for you to do or be any particular thing, and this makes our lives absurd. Sartre says, Man is a useless passion. A cheery guy, this Sartre.